Well, hey there friends, and welcome back to Richard's Toy Room once again. Well, today we have another model kit build and review. You may notice a difference because I actually shot this video a good 2 years ago, and then everything got packed away, went into storage, and I just recently got back to it and finished up the kit. So you may notice a difference in the video and the sound, possibly. So you will now watch the review that I shot of the kit, and then I'll come back at the end and we'll show you the final reveal, and then we'll go over any issues that I had with the kit and whether or not I recommend it. So please enjoy the review, and we'll see you after that. My name is Richard, and I'm going to do another vintage model kit review. And when I say vintage, I refer to this being a, as far as I know, discontinued kit in the line. This specific one here was released in 1999 by ERTL. It is in 1/25th scale, and it is a skill level 2 in styrene molded plastic. Your typical model kit, basically. I picked this up at a flea market, and I'm usually a little hesitant about buying kits that are open. You never know if there's going to be something missing, and unfortunately in this kit, after going through everything, there were 2 very minor pieces missing. That's kind of why it's been sitting around in my collection for so long that I haven't done it. Also, literally, I think every single part had been removed from the trees. But looking through it, it seemed like everything was there, but you know, you can never be 100% sure. So anyway, let's open this up and I'll show you what's in the kit. Now, before we do that, I'll just show you what's on the box. This is your perfectly typical for the time box art and information from ERTL. You got some photos of the actual model that's been built. The sides are the same as the top, and then here is another view of the completed kit. The bottom is just useless information. So anyway, let's get to the parts. So here's what's in the kit. Now, I already had, like I said, I went through the whole kit and bagged everything up. Oh, the other thing that was missing, I believe this is the cover sheet that went to whatever decals may have come with it. I think it may have only been license plates because there's really no need for any decals on this car. They also give you this little catalog to subscribe to some club or something that they have. Here's the directions, your typical directions for the time period. It's on a fold-out sheet. And once again, as usual, you start with the engine, you do the tires. This one has the insertable white wall rings, so you don't have to paint them. I don't know if I particularly care for that style, but it's certainly easier than painting them, that's for sure. Gives you your suggestive paint colors and combinations up here. There's your interior. It's got the side panels, which is nice that they're not molded into the sides of the body. Sometimes I prefer having a separate bucket for this setup, but this works too. Here's your frame and everything going together. Nice to give you a lot of separate pieces so you get a lot of detail. And you go into your basically body and final assemblies. As you can see, it's a nice detailed kit. I've always wanted an Edsel kit, and I couldn't bring myself to spend a full price for one, and then they discontinued it, and I ended up not getting one until I found this one at the flea market one day. So as you can see, I already went through everything, and I had separated all the pieces. See, I didn't do this. They were all already off all the trees. I mean, So I had went through the directions and matched up every single piece. I mean, all these tiny little pieces were still in the box, but yet 2 pieces were missing. Now, if you can see here, this pulley assembly is what was missing from the kit. I found one in my 40-plus year collection of extra model parts that you get when you build kits. And this is a very close match. All I have to do is slightly modify it, and you would never know that it was ever missing. So once I do that, that'll be done. Then here, the other piece that was missing was one of the inner wheels, one of these. And again, once again, I went through and I found this one. I mean, you'll say, well, it's not a match, but it's very close, and you won't even see it because it will be on the inside of the wheel, and I'm going to put it in the back. So even, I mean, you'd have to be a nitpicker to death to find it. So all I have to do is basically cut the center hole out on this, and it's a perfect size matchup to replace the one that was missing. This incidentally came off of a AMT 1957 Ford, so pretty darn close. They gave you extra wheels in that kit, and that worked out for me. So basically, these are the rest of the pieces that were left in the kit, and I baggied them all up separately. I did dump a few of these out so you could see what's in here. I guess I lied a little bit. I forgot that some of the pieces actually were still on the tree. Like here, this is still in the original bag. It's all the clear parts that you get. You get a nice curved windshield there, and some headlights, and there's your back glass. Looks pretty decent. And then I separated all the little chassis pieces. Every single piece is in here. Maybe wondering, these bags, I also do vintage radios and record players and things like that, and I order electronic parts, and they always come in these little plastic bags, and I just kind of toss them into a box and save them, and they kind of come in handy for things like this. I've also found another tip that comes in handy when doing models and using these is if you separate all the parts out that you want to spray paint, I'll put like flat black on here, and I'll put all the pieces in the bag. Then when you're ready to paint, you just take the whole box of parts down and you go, okay, here we go, dump these out. These are all flat black. Dump these out. These are all blue. Dump these out. These are all flat white or whatever. And that's a nice little handy thing here. So here's when I had all the interior parts in here. I dumped them out to show you. Like here's some nice detail on this kit. Here's the interior door panels. Focus that for you. There we go. They got a lot of detail on those. And you got your steering wheel. Here's the dashboard. I wanted to show you this. That's why I dug it out. You got this 2-piece dash. It goes in here because it's like a really 3D looking kind of dashboard here. It's got, let me focus this if I can. You see all the details there. The Edsel had this cylindrical speedometer that turned like a, I guess you call it like a top or something. So there you go with that. You got your seats. Refocus. Here's your separate frame, your chassis pan with the molded in details and gas tank. I'll leave the body for last. Here's your red parts. You got nice taillights, lenses there. And then here's the other thing. The chrome, a lot of the chrome parts are still on the tree. This part is not missing. It was here. It's in that bag over there. But as you can see, nice and shiny. And then here's the rest of the pieces that were left over. These are just body and trim pieces, like your hoses and your firewall, and what else is in there? Like radiator and parts like that. And then you got the body. And hood, of course, comes off. Nice hood. It's got detail underneath. You got a lot of nice detail in this kit. Here's where it says Edsel. I think when I plan on doing this one, I think I'm going to do it actually a tritone. The body is one color, the roof's another color, and these spears on the side, this whole panel right here between the moldings is a third color. So there you go. So wanted to get that part out of the way for when I actually complete the kit. So once I get done with that, we'll be back and we will show you the result. And any further comments on whether it was an easy kit to build, whether I'd recommend you looking for it and finding it, or whether to just pass and don't waste your money. And here we are with the final reveal. As you can see, I chose a sort of turquoise color, and I decided to do a two-tone instead of the tritone that I had mentioned earlier. I'm not sure why I changed my mind, but I just did. I had already had the interior, which is probably be real hard to show you, but we'll see what we can do here. Yeah, it's a little hard to focus in there. Anyway, I originally had painted it. I was using a Krylon paint and it just came out terrible. So I dipped this sucker in degreaser, that purple stuff, and it completely took all the paint off, and I started from scratch. The chrome that you see I did with the Molotow chrome pen. I thought it came out pretty good. Let me see if I can move the car around here and show you some more of it. What I originally had done when I built the kit was I left the wheels so that I could position them as if they had turnable steering, but they were just a little too loose, so I put a drop of glue on the spindles that I had originally not glued, and so they do kind of move a little bit, but I fixed them into position because I didn't like the way that it was turning out. They were too wobbly. Here's the rear. So all in all, I'm fairly satisfied with it. It came out pretty good. But I'll point out the issues that I had that I did not like. Well, first of all, and a lot of the parts that had pegs that went into holes in the body, the parts didn't fit. I had to drill out the holes bigger, which wasn't a big deal, but it was still irritating. Luckily, I do a lot of pre-fit before I assemble the cars, so I didn't have glue on it and run into a giant mess. One big problem I had was here in the grill. You won't be able to see it probably from there, but if you see down the center of the grill here, it's supposed to say Edsel. The way they molded that, the detail was so shallow that even just with one coat of paint on it, that black, because I actually taped that over so I didn't get any blue or white or any primer or anything on it, because I noticed right away that it lacked a lot of depth in the detail, and I knew it was going to be a problem. And I really couldn't get a good paint on those details, so it basically, if you look real close, it looks like blobs instead of the Edsel letters. Let's see, the other problem I had was on the hood ornament. It did not want to sit, and it does not fit in the slot they provide for it. It's not easy. It must be not molded right or something, and that I had quite a ordeal getting to sit straight. Same thing with this rear view mirror. The handles that go on the side, they didn't really want to sit too good in the holes that they provided for those. The windows, while they went in really easy, they just, to me, if you look close, you can really see how they made them, where you can put, there's locating pegs inside, and I think they're like a little too visible for a model kit. They kind of dropped the ball there. See if I can show you underneath here without destroying everything. Here's the underside of the car. Oh, there goes the hood. Oh, good, because I got to show you the engine anyway. But this is pretty detailed. That went together fairly straightforward. The body went on fairly easy too. Might as well show the engine while I got you here. Here's what I did with the engine. These heater hoses did not want to go on very well. The battery did not want to go in very well. I did have to drill out the hole for the antenna too. That didn't fit right. And this fits a little clunky to me, that little chrome part across the back. And this piece that they have, that's a separate piece on the back here. The total back part of the car is a separate piece of plastic. And that didn't fit very well either. And the only other issue I had, and this was my fault, is painting all this really tiny chrome trim. I screwed up here. I had a little bit of a leak with my tape, and my hand was shaking when I was doing this pacer emblem up here. I don't know how visible it is on camera, but if you get real close up, it looks messy. I was going to get a little bit of turquoise touch-up paint and go over it and then try to apply the chrome again, but at the time I was just finishing up the model and I was like, I was done by then. So anyhow, put the hood back on. So yeah, being that the grille is the most distinctive part of this car, I was a little disappointed in how lacking the details were in that part. Oh, also the headlights, that was the other thing. These headlights, I believe, are supposed to be recessed farther in, but they made the molding too big or something, and I didn't want to push too hard because then I was afraid I'd have half a headlight in crooked or one in too far and I couldn't get the other one in, and I didn't want to trim them because there's supposed to be detail that is molded in around there, that is on the real car, that look like screw holes or something. And I would have had to cut those off to get them to fit back in there. So anyway, and I also had to do on the rear view mirror inside, I had to drill the hole bigger for that to fit as well. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I don't think I would want to build another one. Since I made this review of the kit, they have re-released this kit. I don't know if it's the exact same parts, but I'm about 98% sure it's the same exact kit. And it's currently available. I saw it at Hobby Lobby as of December 2018. So if you want an Edsel model in your collection, it's a good one. It's maybe the only one. And I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. But they really should take this thing back to the drawing board and fix some of these issues that I pointed out, because that kind of made for kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt building it. But I do like the way it looks. I've always wanted an Edsel, and I thought it came out pretty good in my opinion, especially from all the problems I had and having to repaint it and everything. So I hope you enjoyed that video. More videos to come. Thank you for joining me, and stay tuned.